I mean, I get the thought process behind it, because it was.
Right, okay, three, think do the second. Okay, one presentation and you guys, yeah, we don't have to.
Thank you. Not every board does that.
No, we appreciate your time, so.
Oh, bump it up to the front.
Yeah, extra copy.
Yeah, that's right, same thing with Andy, she was.
Yep, show Andy will go and then they'll go.
I really feel like we could have just not put a spot
We're
up.
empty.
Like,
Alright, so we can start.
hey guys. I get it, Chris just does now, so I get it.
I don't set these.
I see what it means.
All right, it is, according to the new digital clocks that are so beautiful on the wall, 6:30 PM, so we will call the meeting to order. Let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Approves of public notice.
Notice was given.
Thank you so much. And we do have an absent board member this evening, but he is unable to participate remotely, so there is no vote that is needed. Public comments, there are none, so we can go right into the presentations this evening. You had no time to get ready. You had 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Did I turn this on? That's what I'm. You use this? Sounds like it's on. Oh, it is. See, I can't tell if it's. Yeah, there it is. All right, thank you. Yeah.
I should have some.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, I got it.
All right. I think it's running by. I'm sorry. This is what it looks like on my computer. I'm sorry.
No, it's there, we just have to figure out how to make
Yeah,
it
but
full.
you get to see all my tabs open and.
They all work related, that's how.
I'm impressed with how little they are.
That's because there's so many.
That's I've just never.
I do have some stuff, but yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna be presenting the student services, health services report from last year. So it won't have the cool new mission in it, it has the old school one.
Was he trying to be tech support?
I'm gonna try and help this thing out.
See, I'm not an Apple guy, I have no idea.
There we go, thank you.
You either?
What?
Turn back off, right?
Yeah.
I'm actually vehemently opposed.
You're the green bubble people?
It's very much, I screw up everybody's group chat.
It's so hard.
All right. I thought I would introduce myself since some of you know me and some of you don't. My name is Andy Zillis. I am the nurse for the district. I have a bachelor's degree in nursing from Marquette University, and I have multiple job experience with school nursing being my favorite. I've done inpatient, I've done med surg, cardiac, palliative. I've done outpatient, I worked in the ENT clinic, and I also did COVID tracing, which was pretty cool. And it was an at-home job, so I loved it. And then I, of course, was a school nurse on and off for the last 10 years. We love Hartland-Lakeside. My daughter, I'm the short one now. My daughter is an 8th grader here, and my son is a sophomore at Arrowhead and a graduate of Hartland-Lakeside as well. So this is the old school mission. To provide a diverse and dynamic educational program that meets the unique learning experiences of all students. So we support the mission by enhancing education, by promoting wellness and facilitating facilitating the resolution or accommodations of health concerns unique to each individual student. So next year I get to redo it, which is gonna be fun. So if you want to know a little bit about our staffing for student health services, I am the main person. I'm a bachelor's prepared RN, which is required by the state of Wisconsin to be a school nurse, so it's kind of cool. We have 2 part-time health aides, one in Hartland North, that was Carly, and then one in Heartland South, and that's Amy. each work about 26 to 28 hours, and they're trained in modules. They really allow me the time to do my data collection, my Medicaid, all this other stuff that I do outside of school nursing, so that's really helpful. And they're a vital part of the staff. Acuity is increasing everywhere, and it's increasing here as well in the school setting, which is great because we're getting kids in here who normally would not, but then it has some hurdles as well. So I thought I would just tell you what I do, because most people just think I pass out meds and give Band-Aids. So I do a lot of like hands-on care. We have had a few breaks. That's kind of why I did that, about how to facilitate that, decide what needs to be done. I'll talk more about vaccinations, but I collect vaccination information and submit that to the county. I write individual health plans for every single chronic health patient or student in the district. I do Medicaid billing. I talk on the phone a lot, you'd be surprised, calling parents, talking to staff, things like that. I get to teach human growth and development to 5th graders, and it's so much fun. It really is, I thoroughly enjoy it. These kids have great questions. I obviously do give meds. I also do documentation. We do a lot of diabetic care, and I get to hug little kids sometimes. So it's just a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. So Para is going to talk about more student immunizations, because you think, oh, you just turn in this form, it's no big deal, which is true, but then I get to collect the data and put it into our system. So we get that information from transfer documents, parent-provided forms, and the Wisconsin immunization record, which is where the Wisconsin stores all immunization records for everyone. Document that, take that information, document it into Skyward, which is our health record program, as well as other things. I send out legal notices the 15th and the 25th day of schools for all those up to date. And then day 30, I complete the Wisconsin Wisconsin Department of Health Services school report to our local health department. So I spend a lot of time doing this, especially in that beginning of the year. I spend a lot of time doing this and a lot of time writing health plans, because those are really important as well. So this is our compliance rate, yay! What that basically means is that we either have someone who's fully vaccinated or we have a signed waiver. So, very proud of that. Kind of wanted to go over some chronic conditions. I kind of talked about that briefly, about how we manage and monitor those at school. We have cardiac conditions. We have some really sick kids who are cardiac kids who are coming to school every day and want to be here, but we just have to be very aware of that. Asthmatics, allergic reactions requiring EpiPens, migraines, celiac disease, cystic vomiting syndrome, seizures, bleeding disorders, GI issues, and then diabetes. I wanted to talk a little bit about diabetes because it is a huge part of what we do as a health aide, as a school nurse. Every single one of our diabetics wears it's called a Dexcom, and it's a continued glucose monitor. So it gives us in real time what their glucose is. It has like a 15-minute delay, but it still gives us some great information. For 2 of our students, we monitor that like in the background all the time, just due to age or situation. So that takes up a lot of time, just being able to make sure that they're aware, make sure that if they're, the biggest concern is if they go low, because that's very dangerous. So we have to be aware of all that things. If people go high, some people would require a correction. And then it's just monitoring these students overall. We really want these kids to have a normal life and not to be constantly in their face, but at the same time we want to keep them safe. So it's kind of this mixed reaction that occurs. So this was last year's health conditions. As you can see, this one right here, this is north, this is south, and then this is North Shore. So north has more because they have more kids. I think I mentioned it's increasing in acuity and frequency. And on the back of the form in Appendix A, it has an example of 2 different health forms that I have. I can't take total credit for it. I kind of inherited a bunch of them, but I've definitely updated them and things like that, which is great. So health room visits. This is kind of boring, but we'll go quickly. So this is kind of what the health room looked like throughout the year. The green is the health room visits, gray is sent home, and then black is injuries. You can see here it became spring because the kids had so much fun that they came and visited us a bunch. And then there was probably more injuries and illnesses as well. January, you can see definitely that there was more illnesses as we finished off flu season. So that's kind of what North looked like. South was pretty similar, again with the increase in kids in the spring and then having more sent home, more injuries, things like that in January, February. So June is already small, but that's because there's 177 days in the school year. I looked up that. So here is North Shore. You'll notice that on the, I don't remember what it's called, but there's only 150 max, so we really didn't see as many kids at North Shore. Mainly that's because we don't have an aide there. We do now, which is great. But so that was a big issue with grabbing Band-Aids really quickly, calling me a lot, doing things like they had to be a secretary and they also were a nurse and there was this tug of war. January, you notice it's even lower. That's because we hired a new secretary that month, and we kind of decided for her to focus on her administrative duties. It doesn't mean that these are all the ones that were documented versus actually seen. So I don't know if that makes sense, but we hopefully solved that problem because they gave me a wonderful aide. I couldn't have been happier. And as you can see again, there's just that sliver for North Shore, pretty much a lot in Hartland. I had a kid today tell me that her cheek hurt because she was laying on a table like this too long. So they come and visit you for so many fun reasons. I love it. But I pretty much document everything, so I actually documented that too. And then we have Hartland South as well. So we gave 5,227 meds this year. You can see here that the black is North Shore, and then this is South, and then we got, this is North Shore, this is North. So definitely had a lot of medications. I think that number is crazy, so. Yeah. So preventing medical errors. I kind of look at the system, if there ever is an error or potential for an error, I try to brainstorm new things that we can do to prevent that error. So basically I came up with this half sheet that has you'd put the student's name, the date, the name of the medication. This is filled out by the parent, I should have started that. Medication, dose, frequency, and here's the big one, new medication or dose change. The parent would sign it and then I would sign, or whoever takes it will sign it. It's really important because it gives us another red flag if there's something new. So that's was my big thing this year. And then we did medical teams, which is so much fun. We created basically a medical team within all the schools that included 9 to 12 people. And then we did scenarios were discussed and then played out. So we would go into, we did this before, but we would go into the cafeteria and then I'd be like, this person's choking, what do you do? Or this kid just came down, what do you do? Does he have a pulse? Things like that. So it was really fun and it gave people a real opportunity just to practice those skills, which I think is so important. I'm gonna toot my horn here. So this summer I took the National Certified School Nurse exam and I passed, which was very exciting, thank you. Only 4,000, a little over 4,000 people have this, and it was a great opportunity for me to get to expand my knowledge on things that I can improve with in the school, things that I can improve within myself, just on behalf of the better health and education of school-age children. So overall, this was a great year. I had so much fun. Always hurdles when it comes to student care, but I'm proud of my health aides and my staff, who are always willing to help, and safety is always my #1 priority. Any questions?
I had a couple from reading the report. First, great job.
Thanks.
Really, great job.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
The report was incredibly detailed and it shows that you're doing an exceptional job of record keeping.
Oh, thank you.
So that keeps consistent with what you said in the beginning, that you spend a lot of time tracking records. Just a couple things to point out too. You celebrated the 98.6
Yes.
for compliance.
Yes.
The state average, for anyone listening is
Oh.
89.2.
I was gonna say,
So it's
yeah.
almost 10%
Yeah,
better than the state average, so that's great. I did some summaries. With over 7,000 visits, that's almost 7 per student every year. That's amazing.
some kids have more than others, let me tell you.
I kind of figured,
But
yeah.
yeah, isn't that crazy?
'Cause I'm guessing there's some that have none.
Yeah, oh yeah, in the middle school, they tend to not wanna visit with us as much as they like the second graders. I think I counted on average, we have 17 visits per day, which doesn't seem like a lot, but trust me, it can be a lot, that's not including meds.
But then also you have all the corresponding documentation.
Oh, yeah.
So I have a couple more comments and then actually 2 questions. But your medication doses, I saw that in your report, you over 800 more than last year
Mhm.
in medication disbursement. Do you see that as something that has trended up and
Oh, yeah.
is continuing to go?
Oh, yeah, I think that there's a lot more mental health drugs that are being given,
Okay,
which is great, to see that. So if you get a couple extra kids, it doesn't take long to add up to that.
okay.
And that's kind of where it comes from.
Let's see, and then I just had 2 quick questions for you. And do you feel like with the increase in the number of visits, the increase in the medication, the increase in the documentation, the increase, do you feel like you're running too lean or that you have enough support between now and the
Oh,
future?
well, thank you for that question, I appreciate it. I think I'm doing okay. In the beginning of the school year, I'm not gonna lie, like, there's about 2 weeks where I'm gonna just quit. I'm just done.
We're glad you did.
I know,
It's fair.
so this year, Lisa Schromek challenged me to kind of give up stuff. So I did, not as much filing, not as much putting things in the white envelopes, things like that. So I plan to work on that more. I enjoy control, so it's kind of hard for me to give up that stuff.
It's fine, I get it.
But I am gonna work on it. There is some more things that I'm gonna give up recently that I'm doing, cause we're gonna do vision screening this year here.
Ooh.
Yeah, the Lions Club is gonna come in, but there's just a lot of paperwork regarding that, and filling out kids' names on every single paper, and so.
I
I'm gonna give
will,
up some of that.
and I will tuck in on this one too. We did this year decide to add extra
Yes.
staff
Yeah, I was
for
gonna go
her
there.
as well. Yeah, so I
Yeah.
think recognizing, Andy is everywhere.
No, but it's so helpful.
Yeah, I mean, she goes everywhere, and anytime there's anything, she's Johnny on it. She's in her car running to that school, or she truly is an asset to this district, and we did recognize that there's a lot of increase and one person can't do it all, and so.
Yeah. And I've seen a huge change in my stress level since Sienna came. She's been doing a great job. She's just a true blessing. She's able to manage things. She's doing a great job with meds. She's always willing to learn, which is great. I really appreciate that. And she's always asking me, like, can I help you? Like, what can I do? And so that's been really helpful for me as well.
I think the other part of her that's really neat is that she's working towards becoming a nurse herself. And so it's part of on the ball training kind of for her.
I taught her how to do blood pressure, and she was like so excited. I was like, okay, here, take it home, have fun. So I think she really enjoyed that. So I've been trying to kind of do fun things like that.
I really appreciate your passion. You can tell that you enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're doing a great job, and I even noticed over the last couple of years being here that even I know a previous board member had concerns over medication doses that had issues, either missed or
Right.
incorrect dosing somehow. And that number is down as well
Yeah,
from
that
before.
number
So
has been down.
everything is trending the right way for what you're doing,
Yeah.
the wrong way for the amount of work you have to do, but if you need anything, please reach out to
will.
us for it.
Thank
So we
you.
really appreciate it.
You gave me the gift of another person. I mean, I couldn't have asked. Thank you, Tina. So, anything else? I can do?
Just have one last question on the visits to go home ratio. I
Yes.
noticed that one school was a little bit higher than others. Is that usually the age level or was that the resources that weren't there last year?
This one was hired to go home.
Happened to be middle school for some reason.
No, the middle school, I don't even know what you call it. That's not the axis, is
Yeah,
it?
it's the
The
line,
axis is
yeah.
only 150.
So just by the
So
ballpark.
here, what I should have said this, I'm so sorry. Amanda only gave me information on kids that went home.
Okay.
And because that was the trend would prefer than just everything else, so that's why they look the same.
Okay.
So, and every so often she gave me other ones, but it's hard because they were like charting and then they were doing other stuff and that's not a problem anymore, so.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great job, thank you.
Thank you guys. My contact information if you need anything. And my phone number. So,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks, Andy.
Okay.
Okay, next we have the capital maintenance planning update for Findor.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
It's a hard act to follow, I will say.
Sorry.
Thanks a lot.
It's right here. I had to.
PC. I'm PC.
Except I can't connect to any of this stuff.
See?
It's all Apple.
He taught me how to do this, and he's so impressed right now, I'm sure of it. Here's your arrows.
Transfer over that now.
Oh, gosh, darn it. I was so proud of myself.
There you go.
Perfect.
That'll work.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Alrighty. Back to the one. Alright,
Guys, Carl Hansen, project manager at Findor. Chad's here with me as well, vice president in our Milwaukee office. So we did the facilities study, I believe you guys all have copies of that. Is this your first time kind of seeing that?
Yep.
So I'm just gonna kind of talk about what you guys are looking at and what we did to build that report. So talk about Findor first. So we've been a builder in the Madison area for 135 years. We've been in Milwaukee for 50. We've done, over the last 5 years, 15 of these facility studies on over 85 buildings. So this is the first one we have a lot of experience at. And now we've done over $2 billion in construction just in the education market in the last 10 years. So it makes up about 30% of our annual revenue. We're in schools a lot.
And just to chime in on that, a lot of people look at Findorf in Madison. We have Madison, Wausau, and Milwaukee offices. We do a lot of big buildings, but we also do a lot of small work. So we have a special projects group that, they focus on projects that are 1.5 million and under. And currently, just in Milwaukee, our SPG group they have over 400 jobs this year. So we do a lot of big work, but we also do, and there isn't a job that's too small for us, just as an FYI.
So when we did this facilities study for you guys, we focused on 4 main areas of each building. So the building envelope and roofs, really what keeps the building weather-tight from the inside. The interiors, the site, and the system, so the mechanical, electrical, plumbing, fire alarm, fire protection, everything associated with that. When we're looking at building envelope, they're walking around the whole entire outside, they're looking at windows, brick, or any type of exterior facade, make sure it's caulked, make sure there's no damage, make sure all the grout's in place. Really taking a good look at everything there, make sure there's no water coming in or any critters or anything that can get inside the building. Interiors, walk up all interior spaces, looking at flooring, casework, ceilings, if there's a spot on an ACT tile, could be a possible leak, looking at all your doors, making sure doors are opening and closing correctly, and really taking a deep dive into that. The site, it's more parking lots, it's outbuildings, landscaping, playgrounds, athletic equipment, everything outside the building, and then your systems. We'll get this a little more too. This is gonna be like the higher dollar value items, so it's your mechanical systems, your plumbing, faucets, sinks, all all that type of stuff. So when we did these walks, completely non-invasive, only went to rooms that were open or they had access to. So there's potential for unforeseen conditions. They weren't ripping up carpet, they weren't popping ACT tiles, just really walking around, taking a look at whatever they could see. We built budgets off of this as well. That's all based off historical data from all the other projects we've done, by looking at the current market and prior similar projects we've have experience with. And then for forecasting for future years, we added inflation onto that as well. So it's all in 2025 dollars. And then as you go into the 2026, 2027, it's 3.75%, I believe, inflation. So you'll kind of see that as you go in there too.
Quick question for you.
Yeah.
When you did do the walkthroughs, did you do any while students were here too?
I do not believe so.
Okay. Wasn't sure if you got to see how the buildings and facilities worked with the number of students.
I don't believe this. I think they did them all.
I think we,
It was over the summer.
yeah, this over the summer when students were here. And just that last line too is we didn't look at this from a adequacy of how the buildings function kind of.
Sure.
That wasn't stuff we were looking at.
Okay.
For this study.
So these budgets are just 100% conceptual scope. Like I said, forecasted in 2025 dollars. We'll kind of see how those costs kind of increase based on future years. It's really focused on maintenance kind of only items and stuff like that. And then these are, to note, really consistent on costs for similar projects that we've seen or other reports we've done. Budgets are not finalized by any means. Nothing's really based on design of, so architects coming in and you know, them having assisting on stuff and helping with code compliancies and items like that, especially with your MEP systems and all that design. So these are the three buildings, north, south, and north shore. The gross square feet, so combined between three, it's just under 215,000 square feet. Some dates of the building, so the average age of these threes, main construction is about 47 years. So just do a little equivalency there, it's about 137 average size homes in Wisconsin, is kind of how big it is. So when you're thinking the dollars and kind of doing comparison, something to think about.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I like that.
Gives you a little, yeah, I mean, I just think that's an interesting perspective.
So we broke it into three different priority items. So 0 to 1, that's something that we think is something you guys should look at, potentially working on or taking a look at in the very, very near future, the next year or two. Then priority 2 to 3 is the 2027 to 29, and then priority 4 to 5. It's more just like monitoring, keep monitoring, everything looks good there, but in the next 4 or 5 years, it's something to look at and correct.
So those are inflated dollars, nominal dollars, so like the 716,000 in the green.
Yeah, that's with 3.75 every year over, yeah.
So it might cost $10 today, it's $20 down there or whatever. That's the $20 you're shipping.
Yep.
Got it.
And then we broke it out into the 4 categories that I mentioned earlier. The envelope interior systems and site, like I said earlier, systems is definitely the higher dollar value. That's your HVAC, your plumbing, and your electrical items. So these are all the district-wide, so this is all 3 buildings combined into one. And I'll kind of break it out per. So North Shore, a lot of it was electrical and mechanical in that one for the systems, and a lot of that systems, a lot of the priority 1 items are MEP related across the 3 buildings. When we're kind of going in and looking at like carpet and stuff like that, it's more of just a aesthetic thing, same with paint. So that's more of your priority 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s, stuff that's not gonna hurt anything. Your priority 1s are like not getting hot water fast enough to sinks, doors not closing correctly, railings potentially not meeting code, stuff like that. So you kind of see how the breakdown kind of goes. So North Shore really doesn't have too much in the priority 0 to 1 as compared to 2 and 3. As you go into North Elementary, it kind of levels itself out there. There's lower dollar value in North Elementary too for potential needs, especially in the systems. And then as you go into South, it's more in that 2 to 3, not much in the future, not much going for immediate priorities.
Does South include the daycare?
Yeah, it's gonna be the.
Yeah.
I would just,
Yeah, it's within the building envelope, yeah.
okay.
So just some key takeaways as you're kind of reviewing these two and getting into it. Buildings are in general in very good condition, for most of the schools that we're seeing. The items, there are some items in this report that are known to the maintenance team, or the facilities teams that we kept in there. That can be included in the annual maintenance, but just stuff that we noted, we didn't wanna take everything out that we saw, we just wanted it to be on there. You know, it's a lot of that priority 4 and 5 stuff, stuff that can definitely be taken care of by your guys' facilities teams.
Let me ask, what are you saying there? You're saying like the regular maintenance stuff, is that,
Like,
it's
there's
in the
some touch-up-
report, but it's not costed into those totals, or?
Yeah, so there's some items in there that have 0 cost. They're
Gotcha.
noted in there, but they don't.
So you might have
have
seen that the
maintenance.
carpet's crappy in this room, and we know that, you didn't put the dollar amount on it,
Yeah,
but
there's
you
some,
listed.
I know for sure there's like some doors that can get adjusted and
Got it.
and stuff like that, some touch-up paint, maybe there's some stuff with boxes stored in areas that just need to get moved away from like hot water heaters and stuff like that.
Perfect.
Again, the budgets do not include any solutions for capacity, education, adequacy, or space needs. Like I said, it was just taken over the summer, so we didn't see how everything went there. It's across all 3 buildings. And then just in general, capital maintenance is always an ongoing thing, regardless of updates, replacements and improvements, so we kind of just walked around, saw what we saw, put a price to it, gave our suggestion on priority, and then put it on the report for you guys.
Then I'd just go to the first point that he had on the last slide, which was, in general, the buildings are in really good condition. We walked into many districts with a much different story, than what we have, than what you guys have here, so. You guys have done a good job maintaining, you've obviously put dollars into the buildings, which is really good. Thanks, Greg.
Yeah, so take a look at the reports, dive into them, let us know if you have any questions, and then just how we can help you guys. As you guys are going.
I assume Greg and Patrick have something that, like this has, I see the dollars at a summary level, I assume there's schedules behind it somewhere.
Yes.
Maybe I didn't turn the page, but it's something separate from this packet.
Yes.
It has all that stuff that you guys will use to kind of build up the 10-year plan.
Exactly, yeah, it's, this is kind of our data set that we're using, and then Greg and I have sat down a couple times and started to pull things and say, hey, what makes sense for us as a district? Because they don't look at this from a use or efficiency of use. So if we know, hey, this is, it's gonna have a much bigger impact for students programming and learning to do this before this, we kind of can adjust some of those priority levels.
Yeah, makes sense. No, this is great, I mean, I've been eager to get something like this, I've been on the board for about 1.5 years now, or maybe not even that long, but this is great, so I really appreciate you guys coming in, that's exactly, I think, what we needed to get Greg a hand to get his arms around some of this stuff, and Patrick and us to get a 10-year plan for this, so super helpful. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you guys. You're good, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yep, thanks guys.
You know how to find us if you have questions.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming in.
And
Yeah,
if
you
not,
bet.
we can look for your signs everywhere.
Hopefully you keep seeing them out there.
Thank you very much for coming out though.
Guys, thanks guys, appreciate it. You too.
Oh, you don't want to stay?
Yeah, well, we're gonna do.
See you.
Have a great night.
Yes, you too guys, have a good night.
Thank you very much.
See you later.
Nice to meet you. Craig, quick question before you go. So were there any things in here that blew your mind, or were they things, yeah, we kind of knew about it, but we never dug into it deeply? Or was there something that just, whoa, had no idea about
There
that?
was really nothing in here that jumped out at me.
Good.
I kinda knew about all this stuff, it's just finding the time and prioritizing everything.
Okay.
You know, this is a really good roadmap for us right now. So, we start chipping away at some of the stuff that, you know, we were talking earlier, you know, about the big projects and how to take care of, you know, get a handle on the smaller stuff that needs the maintenance, or the maintenance stuff.
Okay. Well, thank you guys for working that out and having them do that.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Thanks, Greg.
Thanks, Roddy.
Thank you,
Great.
Greg.
Thanks, Greg.
Have a good night.
You too.
Oh, there's one here.
All right. Anything else with that, Patrick, that you need?
No, just to reiterate the fact that this kind of is our data set that we can use to now start to really plan out what the next 10 years looks like and how do we keep the buildings in this good shape. Because
that was their biggest takeaway when we met with them the first time was kudos, because we walk through a lot of school buildings and they're not all taken care of at this level, so.
What do you see as a timeline, kind of for putting this together with a proposal? Are you thinking within a year or
Yeah.
a few months? I
Yeah,
have no idea.
I would definitely, a year would be a long time, I would think.
Okay.
I would say in the next 6 months, we could have, a real solid 10-year plan.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be ideal from my perspective, that
Yeah.
going into the next.
Oh, yep, that's kind of what I was thinking, if we have this solidified, so that we can really use it as a planning tool, it's really what we need to have happen.
I think some of our goals are on our roadmap to success from our strategic plan signify this being ready for July 1 of 2026 to have a 10-year in place. So
Yeah.
that's kind of our timeline.
Yep.
Super.
Yeah, it'll be a priority this winter to really get this solidified and start to put into place and, vet it through committee and then let you guys obviously have a greater glance at it to make sure it makes sense to everybody involved.
Even from an acute standpoint of Greg being able to react to, having a group come in and look at everything. If there's something he may not have just been in the forefront of his mind, if it was prioritized, he could look at it, all right, well, I can address that as a maintenance.
Exactly.
Right now. So that's super helpful, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay, move on to committee reports. PBC.
PBC. So we met just last week, on the 13th on Thursday. Through that, let's see, here's where it's closing. We discussed a couple different things. One was the new hire report, which is out there for consent agenda today. We did discuss Kelly hiring, just as a how do we use and what do we do on our end, and it was very pleasing to hear that we do an in-depth screening with new incoming subs. So we check them at the door, and there's a process for that. I don't know if there's anything you want to elaborate on there, but it's a piece that kind of ensures we understand who they are and get them to the right place. And then after that, we talked about AI digital footprint, and we talked quite a bit about it. One of the great things that we did was talk to our teachers and really got a questionnaire back on who's using it, where is it being seen, what's out there. Trying to figure out where we are now so that we can put up the guidelines and rails that we need to be there, but understanding that we're not immune to it and it's going to be somewhere in here. So we're really feeling out those corridors and taking that information and kind of building off of it to bring something more back to the board here, hopefully in the next couple months, just on here's what that looks like and what that could be. So with that piece and just a little bit of guidance there, we also got a Swallow plan that they use for their digital to look at as well, just how they guideline some things. So we're kind of using that to put together what's going on in the area as well as what we're doing here. So a lot of good conversation that was going back and forth. A little bit more that needs to be done though before it's board ready to have talk and a little bit more decision and what's based there. But a lot of AI.
Yeah, and I'll just add, this just really was a great catalyst for us to pulse check, right? Get a gauge of what are we doing and who is doing it without any kind of reprimand or just tell us what you're doing, where are you at, what do you have? And then PPC brought up, we just wanna help guide post this, right? Just keep the district safe, keep our kids safe, keep our staff safe, what does this look like? And we had talked about at the last meeting, the importance of that digital citizenship and the digital footprint and how we're working really hard through 8th grade. This year was part of our new curriculum in our libraries to talk about just that. So we did go ahead and grab numbers 3, 4, and 5, I believe it was off of, we met about this afternoon. The entire leadership team was involved, but really kind of took those 3, 4, and 5 off of Swallow's their guideposts and got that out to our staff because they want to know what can we do? What can't we do? What should we? They know for the most part, we're not teaching kids with this, we're not getting kids involved in it. They don't even have access to it on our computers, right? Like there's no way for it to happen in our school. But there are ways where differentiation can occur, or we're using it in our digital marketing and media because they can grab different images from there to build you see all these flyers and everything. They did these great Veterans Day flyers and posters, and they used Canva to do that. Well, Canva uses AI, but that's a great way to do it, right? And learning how to do that. So I think our staff are on board and excited that we're talking about it. Some very apprehensive, right? Some are very like, but it's happening, and we just want to make sure that we gently guide everybody through it and keep kids safe and keep the district safe in the process.
Absolutely. Some of them range from very confident and I use it regularly to zero confidence and I don't use it at all. So it's a very wide range of them, of answers and how it is. And I think it's a question that's out there too. And just for reference, those 3, 4, and 5 that you had was digital communication, digital safety, and digital citizenship were the conversations that were pulled. So excited to have more of that come forward as we go through with really good commission coming down the line for that. And as you said as well, the AI, the only thing AI that kids see is in a Canva program. Nothing else is AI in front of them. Everything else is blocked on the computers. And like AI, they're continuing to block anything new that comes up. So they are, Chris, Dylan, and the team are doing a great job of making sure the kids are safe on the computers provided through school. And then we discussed policy 0167.7. There is some links down below to different policies from the laws to policy, and they don't quite match. So we're just fixing this. We're going to bring it back to policy committee next month in December, and just verify that it's all matching the right way. Because as we bring all of our policies together from Neola, it starts putting spider webs together. Just some of them didn't match or went to a policy we didn't have, but Neola had. So we were just making sure that's accurate. So we'll bring that one back to committee and we'll clean those up. If it needs to be changed, we'll bring it back to the board for a vote.
Okay.
But we believe it's just a
Typo, yeah.
Great, thank you. I just had one quick question. For the teachers with PD, do they do any PD on AI? Because there's
Not
a difference between what we would do maybe from a guide rail standpoint, and then what do they do from a utilization and education with it?
Right, not yet, that's
how
no
you
plan,
discuss
that's
it.
what we have to figure out.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if that's built into some ongoing education on their end or not.
Not yet.
It's a plan.
Yeah, it's part of it, but not yet.
Yeah,
We're
step
not
one
ready.
was
They're not
what
ready.
is out there, what are we
Sure.
doing now, then there's what's out there, what's best practice, and how do we want as a district to continue down this road, so stage one was.
Okay.
Just getting an idea.
No,
of where
I
we're
would say
at.
there are some excitement though of like how can we best utilize this? I mean, because it's scary, like anything new. It's not all that new, but it's new for a lot of people. But it's here and it's here to stay.
Right.
So how do we best leverage it?
Okay, thank you. That's great. All right, finance.
Finance, we had a world record speed meeting.
Super long meeting.
Efficiency
It was
awards.
13 minutes long.
Efficiency.
We just finished the budget, so there was none of that talk, and we didn't have the Findorf report yet, so we didn't talk about that. So we basically just went over spending, pulled a couple invoices, looked at the vendors and the monthly financials and donations, and we were on our way. So Patrick will catch us up on the financials, but it's month here.
Great. All right. Okay, moving on to consent agenda. There are 6 items there, and before I look for a motion to approve them, I'd like to see if anyone would be willing to read off the donations for the month. Made eye contact with you first?
Me?
Yep.
I can read. I'm gonna have it wrong when I say this though. We had a donation for Barina Lake Country School Band Booster Club for $2,000 to the band, funds the band program. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Outside of that, does anyone have any concerns or issues from A through F that need to be pulled out for additional discussion?
Nope.
If not, I'd be looking for a motion to approve the consent agenda items as presented.
Motion to approve consent agenda items as presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Oh, what was that at? No, that's not.
Oh.
It's being funny. It's been funny.
Okay, superintendent report.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to just get you up to speed on a couple of things here. Number one, Sarah Blankenheim, phenomenal, doing some just really incredible work to fulfill the things that we said we were going to. We made a promise to you that by November 15th, we would have our curriculum up on our website for total transparency, and it is. So I want to guide everybody through this. If you go out onto our website, you can get up into the main menu here, and you go through here, and you get to departments is where you would want to click, and then you go to academics. Within academics, it starts to give you a full scheme of what we have going on here. Now, there are some documents that are in the process of being updated still, but you can still go in kindergarten through the third grade, overview, scope, and sequence of each of them. And then there are little links. So what does this look like? Phonemic awareness and all of what we teach is all out on our website, fully transparent in the work that we're doing. Again, building background knowledge in kindergarten. Again, everything that we have going on, all listed for you. So we're really excited about that work and given our families the opportunity to take a look at where we're at. Coming soon, the curriculum guides, as you know, we have a brand new social studies curriculum, but this will at least get you started in taking a look at what students are learning, kindergarten, kindergarten on up. So please feel free to reach out if you have any questions at all, but really wanted to display that because we are absolutely proud and huge shout out to our friend for getting that figured out for us, Miss Sarah, she's amazing. So we have that. Oh, that's not what I don't want to share that with anyone. So it kind of going a little bit deep into our accountability scores. So first and foremost, congratulations to Hartland-Lakeside School District for once again achieving the highest level of accountability in the Wisconsin State Report Card as significantly exceeding expectations. Continuously do that on a regular basis. There's nothing more to say about that. We are so very proud of this achievement, for sure. But I think that at this point in the game, we've been significantly exceeding. And I think right now you can't get out there on media in any way, shape, or form and have people talking about how the state has changed the score. And it's, okay, well, what does this mean? And are we really achieving? And are we really doing? And what does that actually look like? I'm not here to answer for the state. I can't figure out for them or for us what that means, right? But what I can tell you today is how Hartland-Lakeside is taking a look at what does and does not tell us about our schools as far as the state report card is concerned. So here we are. We are significantly exceeding expectations. Over the course of the last 3 years, you'll see district overall score in 22-23 was 89.6. In 23-24 was 91.7, and last year was 93.4, which is a total increase of nearly 4 points over time. At a high exceeding district, that's really hard to do. So congratulations to the students, to the families, to the teachers, to the staff for always raising the bar in this district. Really, really proud of that. What we can talk about is the limitations of the state system, right? So let's talk about that. Let's just be open about it. It measures a narrow slice of academic outcomes. It doesn't reflect real-time learning or growth across the entire school year. It's one snippet in time, one day, one time, one test. It lacks context regarding student well-being, engagement, and readiness. It does not include the skills that we develop through our Portrait of a Graduate. And it misses local priorities such as leadership, belonging, creativity, and curiosity. The state report card is based mostly on standardized test scores, right? Our families deserve a complete picture of what makes our school exceptional. I like this little part that I just kind of created, little quotes, right? What truly sets Hartland-Lakeside apart is our distinction comes from what cannot be measured on a state report card: experience, relationship, and opportunity that shapes confident, capable young people. Hartland-Lakeside delivers a kindergarten through 8th grade journey rooted in consistency, community connection, and student-centered learning. Sticking with our strategic pillars, academic excellence with a strong core instruction, kindergarten through 8th grade. We talk about that small class benefit. What that equates to is personalized attention, rapid intervention, and deeper relationships between our students and our staff. We have an elective program that expands interests, talents, and future pathways. We have real-world learning embedded in classrooms and instruction that's aligned to the Portrait of a Graduate. Just a minute. I want us to talk a little bit about the Portrait of a Graduate skills and what those are: responsibility, communication, collaboration, problem solving, empathy. These life-ready skills are practiced daily in our classrooms. Tied to that are local community values, what we heard when we were creating this strategic plan. It's about belonging, it's about leadership, creativity, curiosity, character. They're all essential parts of the Hartland-Lakeside experience, but are not included in the state score.
Mm-hmm.
What truly sets us apart is what we are known for. Small class sizes, personalized attention and quicker support, strong core instruction, hands-on learning, and high expectations paired with meaningful support. When I speak to you about our exceptional programming and our elective opportunities, what do we provide that others don't? Digital media and broadcasting, robotics and STEM, outdoor education, which if you're watching anything on our Facebook you see is really, really taken off due to some additional staff and programming. Personal finance is being taught. Visual and performing arts, unlike anyone. We've got our band program and our choral program and our musical theater program that carries us all the way from 1st grade through 8th grade with incredible performances. As a former music teacher, I will tell you they are remarkable. These are the programs that help students explore their interests, find their strengths, and build their confidence. Strong partnerships with local organization, clubs, and service groups. We have a lot of that going on right now, and one that I'm super proud of and super proud of our student council members for is our Knights Care Crusade. It's students serving their community with purpose, and the work that they're doing right now, and they are so excited. You know that we have 130 students who are affected by socioeconomic status in this district, and we had a big goal of how many students we wanted to serve. They are surpassing that goal already, and we are thrilled to bring this community together. They are creating posters. They want to contact different organizations in our community, writing letters. They are out there, and they are our students, our kids serving our community. You don't get that in the state test. Meaningful opportunities for students to have voice and leadership and transparent communication and collaborative problem solving. Again, goes back to the Portrait of a Graduate, elective programming, and then our true story. We are absolutely here to celebrate our accountability rating and no, it is not what is defining us right now. All right, so I'll share. We are the 2nd highest scoring district in our little area. We're gonna throw that out there because we're proud of that, right? And it means something to our community to know that Of the feeder schools, we're sitting in second place with all that we have. And our district has more students than the majority of those in the top 30. And you can access that data, whether it means something or not to you based on whatever parameters have changed. What I can tell you is here at Hartland-Lake School, we stand out because we grow children, not scores. We prepare them academically, socially, and personally for high school and life beyond. And our community staff, students, and families make that possible working together. So I just want to say one more time to our community, thank you for partnering with us. Thank you for trusting us and for supporting the work that we do for every student at Hartland-Lakeside. So that's where we're at. Passionate and very excited for the future of Hartland. Questions, anyone?
Is the Care Crusade, the student council's running that?
They're doing the majority of the work for it.
That's awesome.
That was all part of how this whole thing was brought forward.
Okay, that's
So
cool.
they're creating flyers and writing the letters, they're gonna be the ones that are at the event on Saturday morning, which I've invited all of you to come to, so I please hope that you can be there to share in that experience, kind of help guide them a little bit. Yeah, Morgan Henning and Alexis Nyron are leading that
Johnson.
there.
Morgan Johnson.
Morgan Johnson, thank you. Yeah, they're leading that charge with the students. And there are well over 40 or 50 students involved.
Oh, that's awesome.
Other questions, thoughts?
It's great.
Move on.
Thank you, very great. Great presentation too. Yeah. Who wants to hear about finance stuff?
I do.
I know, me too. All right, on to the Director of Business Services report. I don't have, like Matt said, it's the time of year where we kind of start to settle in. Sort of business as usual this time of year. Passed a very successful, fully funded budget that allows us to do all of that stuff that Tina just shared with us. But as far as the finances go, we're sitting in a very, very solid cash position. Still have about 5.9 million total in the bank. Operating checking, we're looking at ended October with just shy of 207,000. Operating savings about 3.9 million. And then our capital improvement plan savings has grown to about 1.75. And then our North Student Activity Account, it's just over 8,000. We are earning a very solid 4.3% still, so Great. I thought there might be some changes, but the Fed doesn't look too eager to make any huge cuts anytime soon, as far as I can see. Again, our cash position, our Fund 10 balance is what allows us to weather the storm, so to speak, because in public education, cash flow doesn't always come in lickety-split. So we will start seeing our first set of property tax revenues, and we just finally settled up some of our state aid from last year even, so we won't see state aid come in till later in the year. We'll start to see some of those property tax revenues start to trickle in January. So our Fund 10 balance is what allows us to, again, not have to short-term borrow, not have to worry that we're gonna be in a cash crunch. It allows us to run the district in a manner that's efficient, effective, and produces the results that Tina just shared. So I don't have a ton other than that. It's again, a lot of business as usual. It's basically the time we start planning for next year, really. We'll start to look at what our capital needs now that we have our Findorf study in hand. And Greg and I will work closely. We will also start the process of going out for bid for a lot of the projects that are slated to be completed this year that I've already shared in previous meetings. And we'll obviously, as those bids go out or as RFPs go out, we will have conversations within Finance Committee and then bring those to the full board
at that time. But I'm really excited. We're in a fantastic position, and a lot of great things, as far as facilities go, are gonna be happening this year within our Fund 10 budget. That brings me to my second point here is for some capital improvement updates. Greg and his team have been busy. They've been working on, he just breaks it down by building for me. At North, they were replacing light fixtures in the cafeteria. They installed brand new vinyl plank flooring in the reading room at North. They did a bunch of service to the air handler units. So not always that flashy work that everybody sees, but if you looked at the Findorf study, our mechanicals are one of the most expensive things, and we wanna safeguard those with routine maintenance. At South, they also did some light fixture upgrades in their cafeteria. They're in the process of replacing some drinking fountains and adding bottle filling stations. They also did a lot of HVAC maintenance out at South on the rooftop units. So those air handler units up top, they did filters, belts, and general maintenance on those units to keep those in tip-top shape as it starts to get cold here. At North Shore, they worked in conjunction, Greg and his team, worked with Chris Dillon and his team in IT to replace exterior camera bases. They did some just miscellaneous repairs and maintenance. And then at North Shore, they did a big service to that building's air handler units that are, again, filters, belts, and just general maintenance so that it's all in peak working shape for the winter months to come here. So they've been busy, and again, I wanna give his team kudos because they've got these places looking really nice, and if you look at 250,000 square feet's no joke, so that's a lot of square feet to take care of, and he does amazing work, so.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And 3 ages in buildings.
Yeah. And it's not as if they're all cookie cutter either. You know, when you build different buildings at different times, the mechanicals are different. Like even was explaining, the type of air handlers and rooftop versus air handler. I got an education, let me tell you, so.
I actually have a couple questions. When we talk about the 10-year plan, like a lot depends on, just not just our buildings, but kind of the municipality, like coordination of like traffic flow, utilities, future growth, whatever. And since we're a feeder district to Arrowhead, I'm curious of any long-term planning on their end that will affect us, because Arrowhead is currently engaged in formal conversations with the village of Hartland regarding potential annexation of the high school property. I'm curious if we could get an update of how that, like where that stands. And I know, Chris, since you do sit on both boards, you have a unique position to kind of update us on that. So I am wondering if you have any discussions about municipality borders or annexations that might intersect with what we're doing for our 10-year plan.
Is that a question for Patrick or for me?
Well, I said, Chris, since you sit on both boards, it would be for you, actually, please.
We could do that after we get through his report, when we get to the next one.
Pretty sure you just finished it.
Yeah, that was the end of what I had.
So I waited.
Again, I would be happy to reach out to their business manager and ask those very questions if you'd like.
Well, I figured Chris could probably answer them for us too, since he isn't part of those discussions.
I can answer some of it. So the conversations regarding the annexation have happened between the village and the Arrowhead board. They've stalled, there hasn't been much that had happened with those for a few months.
Yep, you guys sent the letter on October 7th.
Yep.
I haven't seen anything in the village board minutes, so I'm curious what's been going on behind?
Behind,
That should be transparent.
I don't have anything behind. I can tell you that the letter of intent or interest was sent on behalf of Arrowhead's board to
This one.
Arrowhead. Yep, I'm sorry,
To the village board. The village board hasn't responded yet.
Not that I'm aware of. So that I don't really have anything there to add for that. There was another question you asked.
I was just wondering how long-term planning for Arrowhead is going to affect Hartland because of this annexation. And the fact that the new legislation that was introduced this week, Assembly Bills 644 to 649 and Senate Bill 655 and 656, which Lynn, I believe, touched on and said that's why we moved back the feeder district board meeting that we had planned for November. We pushed it back till January so that maybe these could pass. So I'm wondering what is going on with that and what Arrowhead's planning.
I can't speak for Arrowhead, I can only speak for me as an independent
Correct.
person. So I can tell you what at least information that I have, but it doesn't necessarily represent the voice of the Arrowhead board. At the last meeting, Lynn Bozay and President Schubert updated conversations from the legislators that they met with, Representative Kitchens and Barbara Dietrich. And both of them, well, I should say, Representative Dietrich recommended delaying any type of conversations with our combined districts until after the new year, since some of the bills aforementioned may be up for vote and could impact local discussions. So that's as far as I know for now. So the intent, from what I know, is that the next local feeder and Arrowhead joint conversation meeting wouldn't happen until potentially January.
And I would assume that this wouldn't affect the 10-year plan, you still are going to, and the updates, you would still plan for all these to go put into place and put forth the money towards those things as you go through there and plan it out. And the reason it's called a hostile takeover, if that were to happen, it would need to be that it would interrupt everything that's going on, but as a top-rated district in the state, we wanna continue to be planning years ahead, not just the day of or the next few months down the road. So I believe that in that plan, it would continue on as.
Yeah, and I'm actually really glad that you brought that hostile takeover up. Because as board members, we all have an obligation to act transparently and to avoid conflicts of interest. Since you have responsibilities to both districts, and this issue could impact them differently, how do you plan to?
Is this capital improvements update?
It is, because it's about like our consolidation and topics like that, so. If not, I can wait till 3 more minutes if you want. But I think the question is fair to ask if Chris has how he plans to deal with his conflicts of interest, if he thinks he has any.
Morgan, this is not the first time that you've asked about potential conflict of interest, and
I think it's fair to continue to ask.
you can ask, but this isn't a topic of discussion on the agenda for this evening.
So you don't want to answer that question though?
There is not a topic to be talked about. This is a personal question that
It's
you
not,
have.
it's about capital improvements and what Arrowhead's doing with an annexation into Hartland, which will then affect Hartland-Lakeside and our resources and how much we have to pay and taxpayers.
Okay.
But also, I would like to know what you know about the annexation.
I'll give you some grace, and I'd like to understand, how will that affect us? Since you said so confidently it affects our district, how will it affect us?
That's what I'm asking you, is how will it affect our district? Have you thought about that, since you do sit on both boards?
As far as I know, there is no direct impact of whether or not Arrowhead sits in the town of Martin or sits in the village of Hartland.
So then why do they need to change it?
This is not an Arrowhead meeting.
That's fair.
So we can have that conversation privately. This has nothing to do with Hartland-Lakeside at the moment.
I'll agree to disagree on that one.
Okay.
So thank you for not answering my question. Let's move on.
Thank you for your permission.
Okay. So condescending.
I have nothing else in mind. The updates I was prepared to give, Morgan brought up early. So we'll move on to future meetings. Finance, still good for Tuesday, December 9th at 8:30.
Yes.
Policy, Thursday, December 11th, 9:15.
Yes.
And the next school board meeting, Monday, December 15th at 6:30. Do you see any need for a workshop or anything early?
No, but no, I don't.
Okay,
Do it. Closed session.
yeah, we'll see when we get closer. Okay, then at this point, I'd be looking for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
7:39.
Wow, record time. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? The motion carries. Adjourned at 7:39. Wow.
Look at that, finance and that.
And building
What a
board
PDC are you
district update.
doing? I'm kidding.
Yeah.